Hey girlies! Welcome back to P31 Podcast. This is the last episode of season 1, guys. Oh my gosh. I know, season 1 is over, which is so crazy to us. But we're so glad for everybody who has watched. If you haven't seen season 1, go back, rewatch. We talked about so many things from relationships to modesty to overall being a black woman, being a Christian woman, and being a young woman in the glory of God. So today's episode is called Soft Life Era. This is episode 5. And we're going to be getting into today's topics, talking about femininity and how that relates to relationships and being hyper-independent. So let's get into it.
So the definition. Let's get to the definition.
The definition first, because when we looked at the definition of femininity, we're all like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So feminine energy, or not energy, but being feminine is having qualities or appearance traditionally associated with women, such as powerful, nurturing, strong, and graceful.
Beautiful.
So
That's good.
yeah.
Did y'all know that? Because
Powerful, nurturing.
yeah, that's good.
Strong and graceful.
Wow. Okay. So, like, how do you guys think that relates to you as a person? What does that look like to you?
So when I think of the word femininity or like being feminine, I think of someone just like very classy and graceful. Like the definition it says, it's just someone that's just like well put together, doesn't have to scream, yell, or go out seeking attention. Like when she walks in the room, she gonna command that attention.
Absolutely.
And she doesn't have to do too much. Like she could be in the back and someone would be like, oh yeah, so and so here, and they'll be like, how you know? Like I didn't even see her. How you know? You know, you feel her aura is very
We're like, ooh.
yeah, her aura is just very different. It's just very classy. It's very like calming, and that's not what I think of femininity. I feel like I carry some of those traits. Like I'm very,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm very like calm sometimes. It depends on who I'm around.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be calm.
I could be calm, but it depends on like who I'm around and like just overall how I carry myself. I feel like it's very feminine. Like I bring a very different aura to places. Like I've walked in a room that was just like very high spirited, we will put, and like everyone calms down because like I'm there. Or I could flip it. I could be the opposite. I'll be like, y'all a little dead in here. Like,
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I feel like honestly for myself, I don't know if I'm like super feminine. I think I dress very feminine.
Yeah.
So you like can see that from like the outside. And like, yes, I mean graceful. I'm very clumsy. Powerful, I would say that. I would say I'm a very powerful person overall. Like I'm very good at getting my point across and like kind of articulating that when I need to. Sometimes I just be all over the place. But
you're graceful in other ways, Alex.
Yeah.
Because I'm very clumsy too.
yeah,
We're not talking about our actual walk with our legs. We're talking about like how we carry ourselves and like how we bounce back from things. That's what I think about like when someone says graceful.
Yeah.
But we clumsy. All three of us are.
Yeah, maybe graceful in that way. Yeah, like I'm very good at balancing like what I have going on and like trying to give each thing my attention. And I definitely feel like I'm not the type of person who has to yell and scream for somebody to like look at me and like see what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I feel like I command attention normally, but I'm also like, I would say, because we're gonna get into hyper-femininity and how that relates and all that stuff, and being very hyper-independent. And when it comes to that, I feel like, other than when I'm with my family, that can break down to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like femininity is I feel like my mother is very feminine. I feel like she's very in that like vibe. I feel like a lot of people around me are. While they are powerful, while they are independent, while they are strong, like they never sacrifice that for being a woman. in being in that space and in that place. Even my aunts who are like single, they're very like feminine. They're very feminine and they're very strong. Like my aunt Andrine, like
that's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, she has feminine.
She's not married, but she has such a strong like feminine like presence, and she pays her bills, she has her house, she makes her money. She's very independent, but she doesn't do it to the point where it's like masculine.
I don't need no man.
No. If she found one, okay, cool. But she's also not searching for one. And that's also part of like the feminine like energy, I feel like, as well.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I would say the same thing. Like, I think I have feminine. Oh, and when I thought of feminine, I wasn't thinking of like graceful and like strong, those things. I was just thinking of like getting your nails done, having your hair right, the physical appearance. But I do think I have those qualities. I don't know about I'm strong, but like
you're strong.
But okay, yeah. So I have those traits.
Everyone's strength is very different. Like,
it's not
how
like
you handle
someone
stuff.
else's strength.
Yes.
Or someone else's grace.
We handle things very differently.
All three of us do.
We're all strong in different like aspects and capacities, but that doesn't make any one of us less strong.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like I'm not like them. I feel like they can control their like impulses sometimes. Like especially when saying things, and I cannot. Like if I have something to say, you can even see it on my face. You can see
my face is gonna tell you.
Oh yeah. You can see it on my face, but I'll say it. Like I do not care. I will literally say it, and I just don't care about how everybody else is gonna perceive it. Because I was like, that's just facts for me. So, but I feel like they'll be able to like.
I just keep it all in,
This is
y'all.
not the time.
You're really good at this. No.
I'm just like thinking all kinds of stuff.
I would be like, look, I'll tell it how it is. Me and my mom literally just had this conversation yesterday, and she was telling me that I needed to be a little bit more compassionate on how I say things, and I'm like, people don't take compassionate very well. They need it straightforward because they're not hearing me. Like they're not hearing it the way it needs to come off, and so yes, I'm very straightforward in how I tell people things, or like. If you guys need to like change something, I'm not like, well, this does bother me. No. Ma'am, sir, like you really need to get it together.
I do that. I'm like, well.
Yes, you did that well. So,
you did that so good.
I don't think
so good. Well. And like Sarah will also like she said, like Sarah will keep it in. Like if we're in a situation, Sarah will keep it in.
Wait, if she hits that well, we already know what's happening.
Like, if we're in front of people, she may not say anything and she'll just keep it in her head. But as soon as we get in the car and we say, oh, sorry, because she's like, well, I don't know if I'm like,
I really don't know how I felt about that. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like Sarah's very graceful with that. And like just like her tone is very graceful as well. Like even when she's like upset and mad, like she doesn't raise her voice, she doesn't get mad. No. It's just her like dialect. She gets very very on the beat of the word. Like I don't know how to explain it, but she's very like just standing in her like what she's saying, even when she's like upset. Yeah,
I did that for my mom.
Your mom and her words. I was like, how'd she even come up with that?
Yes, your mom is very calm when she says things. Even when she's upset, she's very calm.
Yes, but when something bothers her, she'd be like, did you talk to Sarah about that? I was like, wait, what? I didn't know I would talk to her. I didn't know I needed to talk to Sarah about it. Did you mention that to Sarah for me? I was like, okay, that's bothering her.
Yeah. Have you checked in on your friend today?
Yes. I'll be like, let me go see what Sarah has done. What has Sarah done? Let me text her.
That's how she is.
Yes, she's very...
But like I seriously commend. I feel like and all the women in our lives are very that way, and I feel like honestly the hyper-independence I feel like it's a new thing in this generation. Like not overall, because I feel like especially like some women are like, I don't need a man, I can do everything for myself, period. But and it's not even only hyper-independent coming to like men, because it also comes from like family, friends, things like that. And being hyper-independent can also hurt yourself overall, because God means for people to be in your life. Like you are not, a church is a body of people. A church is not a place, it's a feeling. It's a reverence. That's what it is. So like, you're supposed to be around people. You're supposed to be surrounded by those who love you, those who God has put in your life to allow you to progress and grow as a person. And if you're being so hyper independent to the fact that you don't ask anybody for help on anything, you don't even reach out to people to like say hi, say what's going on, like you like, oh, I can do it by myself, I can go here by myself, I can do all that. Like, yes, you should be able to be okay with being with yourself and being alone in that, and not feeling lonely because you're by yourself, but you should also be able to reach out to your people.
For sure.
I feel like my hyper independence comes from like coming from a single parent household and watching my mom do everything, because I'm very convinced I could build a house right now. Like, I know how to do it. So but learning how to like come out of that hyper independence, I feel like I needed those lessons and to like go through that so I can be more appreciative of the help that I get.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree with that. And I feel like it also comes down to, I feel like growing up, being the eldest daughter of an immigrant family, if anybody else understands that, like just being the oldest, you feel like you need to be independent because you need to be able to help your siblings. And my parents were always there. My parents never like checked out of parenting. They were always there. They've always been there for us. But like, just as an eldest sibling, like they'll be like, oh, help your brother tie his shoes. Oh, help your sister do this. Help your, like, and it's not, that's not like you can't ask your children of that, and it's not like a burden for me. But it's just like being in that hyper independence as a child, like making sure you can do it, like so that you can help your parents. It kind of like flows over into everything else. And so it's kind of a lot, I feel like. And also I grew up with a lot of men in my life who, like, not my uncles and stuff, but like men my age who were like, oh, you need to be independent. You need to be independent. And so I was like, okay, cool, then I'm going to be independent. Like, it's just like, I'll be like, oh, can you open this, like, can you take this downstairs and throw it away? Like, because I'm doing something or whatever. And they'll be like, girl, you got 2 legs? Like, yes, I do, but I'm asking you if you could possibly help me. But if I always get pushed back with like resistance to that, then I'm gonna stop asking and I'm gonna just go do it myself. And like, I always stay true to like the thought of like, if you, it's like, what is it called? It's like, you can't do it yourself, and, or it's like, it's something about you can do it yourself better than anybody else can. Something like that. Oh, if you want something done, do it yourself. Yeah, I've always been like chill with that, and like I will have like, even in college, I was juggling like 5,000-10,000 things at one time. Did I ask for help? Very, very, very smallly, a small amount, babes. Like, I mean, I would delegate in my positions, but other than that, like, if I have 50 things to do on a Wednesday, I'm doing 50 things on a Wednesday. I'm not asking this person to do this, to do that. Like, I'm just gonna get it done. And I feel like that's a good thing. And that's something that I saw growing up too, because my mom, that's how my mom is. My mom will have 5,000 things to do and she's gonna get them all done. And I love that about myself, but it's also like, you need to have a willingness to be open to other people, to allow them to be in your life and help you through things that are going on. Because why are you taking on 500 things in one day? Like, you don't have other, like, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't know, Sarah, do you feel like it's something that, like having independence is like something for you, or no? Especially since you got a man. You got a man.
I mean, it is, like, I feel like I have maybe 50% of that. Because now in my season, I am married and Jeremy does like a lot for me. Like, I say that as like chores and stuff, like around the house. But for me, like, if you know me, I have like a to-do list, like especially on the weekends. Like, I'll write down so many things I need to do, like on a whiteboard, and then mainly like more like business content stuff, like I need to get done, and then I'll just like mark it off. And Jeremy can't really help me with that. I mean, he could here and there, but like I do all that stuff, and then he like does like most of the chores and stuff like that around the house. So in like the car, taking out the trash, that kind of stuff. So I don't have to do that, and I'm so thankful for that. But if I did, like if you were out of town or something, like I would do, you know what I mean? Like I could do it if I need to. But yeah.
Do you think that, like, now that you don't have to, like, you don't necessarily have to be independent, do you think that you're kind of, like, losing that a little bit, or no? Like, your independence and, like, that, like, mindset?
I feel like I kind of am, but I feel like I still have it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have it in a new way.
If I lose it, or, like, if Jeremy is, like, not there anymore for whatever reason, God forbid, then I'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can still do what I need to do.
Yeah, that scares me.
Oh
Honestly, that scares
yeah.
me. Like, getting into, like, a mindset where, like, I can't do anything. Because, like, my mom and dad have always said, like, growing up, they're like, oh, I'm gonna take out the trash for my daughter, so... If you've seen those TikToks too, like, I'm gonna take that trash out for my daughter so that she don't be impressed by some man taking out the trash or stuff like that. Like, I feel like all of that, so, like, and I'm also, like, I say this all the time. I was talking to my mom about this the other day, like, when it comes to men, I have such an attitude. I have such an attitude when it comes to men, just because, like, I'm always just, like, when somebody says to do something, I question it. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting off topic right now, but like,
no.
Like
you're not easily submissive to them. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just not.
Girl, don't be easily submissive. To them.
Like,
be submissive to your husband. I feel like it takes me a lot to like actually listen to a man the first time because who are you to tell me you're not my husband? You're not anyone that's like investing into me. You're just like charging orders at me, and now we have a problem because you're not gonna tell me what to do. But I'm not easily submissive when it comes to like a male telling me to do something, unless it's for my safety. Then I'll think about it.
Yeah, thank you for watching out. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and also I have a younger big brother, so like my brother is younger than me. He's 3 years younger than me, but he's literally like taller than me. He's very intelligent. He's on top of his stuff. Like, he knows what he's doing, and so like. Me and my brother would go like head to head all the time because I'm like, I'm older. He's like, okay, but I know this and I know that. I was like, yeah, but like I'm older. That's how we'll be like at it with each other. And I feel like because of that, like I just also have that like mindset. Like even my guy friends, like they'll say something and I don't like what they said. I'll be like, I'll just say some out of pocket.
Yes,
I really will.
You banter with them. Like,
You can call it banter. Sometimes I think I'm doing too much, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not doing enough because you're.
I call my banter strengthening the male comebacks, like helping them sharpen their skills and the way they think. Because
and I think that also shakes.
A lot of men don't get challenged.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, I'm gonna challenge you. Like, why do you think this way? Why do you feel like I should do that? Because I'm a woman. Like, I'll be really challenging them. Like, my banter is top tier, but sometimes they take it as flirting, so I'm chill.
I chill. That gets on my nerves. Like, a lot. Like, men will literally just assume I'm flirting with them just because I'm like asking them intelligent questions. Like, no.
Are you
impressed? Shouldn't get to know you, sir.
Why are you so easily impressed?
Like, literally. Like, I remember me and my friends, one of my friends was having an event, and these people that she knew from OKC came down, and they brought a boy with them. It was like 2 girls and a boy. And I was talking to the guy a lot because I was like, oh, let me get to know this man. Like, he's cool, like, whatever. And after that day, my friends were like, do you like him? I was like, no, I do not want this man. Like, I was just getting to know him. I was just asking him questions about himself, and he was asking me questions about myself. Like, we're just having a conversation, guys. Right. Like, just because, like, I mean, yeah, he was good looking, but like, just because he's good looking and I'm good looking doesn't mean we're trying to have a situation here, guys. We're just conversating.
Most definitely. So we just hit on submissiveness, and one of our questions is like allowing men to lead / help. So like how, especially in your marriage, Sarah, how do you let Jeremy lead?
Like making decisions like for us.
With or without questioning.
Question.
With questioning. I have a lot to say too, even though I'm quiet, you know. I feel like I'm bossy in a way. Do you guys feel like I'm bossy?
You can be, Sarah.
Yeah.
you like things your way,
I do.
a certain
and
way.
It's not. I don't know.
Like, you're very simple, but like you like stuff certain ways.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and if it's not that, yes.
If it's not going that way, then
you'll
you're
be
like,
like,
no.
Well, I thought we should do it like that.
no.
babe.
It's just a shake of the head. She's like, no.
Yes. Yeah, she shake her head slowly. No.
No. But I feel like I do let him lead, and like I have my opinions too, but I let him.
I feel like in that aspect, it's more of like a partnership. Like,
right.
he makes a decision, but like sometimes as a woman, we have a different perspective because sometimes men, they don't see the whole picture and all the intricate details of like a situation. So us asking questions is not allowing them to lead, or is not like giving them pushback. Is making sure they thought of every piece
Really thought it out. Yeah.
And so asking just little questions to make sure it all fits together and that we are going in the right direction. Because sometimes bringing up those little questions, you'd be like, oh dang, maybe we don't need to do this, or like I didn't think about it that way around. It could affect things. So I don't want to say like questions are like a bad thing, but like if you're allowing him to lead, but you don't want him to lead you blindly. And I feel like that's so like why we should be in tune with God when it comes to like finding our partners and like having the spirit of discernment, because I'm not gonna let a man lead me blindly. Like, if you don't have a vision and direction of where we're going, then we can't be together, because I know where I'm going and I know where God expects me to be.
Right.
If you don't have that for your life, and if you can't include me or like help me navigate where I need to be, we don't need to be together.
Yeah, and everything that I do in my life is led by God. Like, I got my moments, but everything I try to do in my life is led by God. And like, if you're not leading me in that way, like if you're, like, I'm the type of person, like people say this on TikTok, and like, I'm the type of person, like, my baby wakes me up in the middle of the night, baby, we gotta pray. Let's go. Where's the holy oil? Let's go. Yes, Lord God. I'm not playing with you. Like, I need a praying man. I need a man who's gonna be like, baby, we don't need to go on that trip, because I like the Lord is like putting in my spirit.
Yes.
Like, that's the kind of thing that I need. I need you to be able to lead me with
the junction of the Holy Spirit.
Yes. That's what I need in my life, and I'm not gonna be led by a man who like. Also, people say this all the time. Don't get advice from people who you don't want their life to look like yours.
Ooh.
Don't do that. And just like so, for me, when it comes down to like learning their plan, like I was saying when I was talking to the guy that I had just met when I was with my friends, I was asking like straight up real questions, and he had answers for me, and he would ask them back to me, and it's like, I know the question I'm asking, I have an answer. Like if I ask you what's your, like, okay, you're in this job right now, it's not something I consider a career, it's a job. So like you're here right now, you haven't gone to school, okay, cool. I was like, what's your plans in the next 5 years? Like, what do you aspire to be? Like, what's your lifetime goal? Like, what is your dream life? Like, do you think that you're on track to achieve that? Things like that. I know the answers to my questions. I know the questions that my husband will have the answers to. So if you don't got the answers, or you don't have an answer that I'm looking for, baby, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. Next caller. It's like, and it's okay, and I'm okay with, and something I've been working on a lot is I'm okay with like, and this goes with independence and femininity. I'm okay with being single right now. I'm very okay with it, because I don't have time for a little boy to come ruin my life. Like, I really don't, and I don't have time for just things that are gonna move me away from my path of God. Like, God's gonna send me my husband at the exact right time and the exact right hour. So why am I, And he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So
Amen.
I don't need to find nothing.
I'm Israel. So how are you guys practicing femininity right now?
I don't know if I'm practicing.
But you are honest, and that's honest. That's what you do.
Right, that's something I need to make sure I'm doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like you are. Just like your upkeep.
Yeah.
Which we talked about in our self-care. episode.
Go and watch it.
Yes.
But I feel like you are in a way.
Okay.
She's looking like, okay.
Yeah.
How am I practicing femininity is
Well, let me say some things. I feel like Sarah is definitely like feminine in the way that she like goes about her relationship, because like one thing about it, we're not gonna hear nothing. We're not gonna hear a dang thing. Like if something was going on, God forbid, like we wouldn't hear about it. We wouldn't hear about it until the very last second. Cause like she keeps her relationship.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't bring outside things into it. Like if she needs advice from like people who are like have been married and like because that, she'll reach out for it. She'll find it. But she's not gonna like just let her friends like talk bad about. Never would we would never do that. But she would never let her friends talk bad about Jeremy like or about the relationship. Like that's never gonna happen. And I feel like that's walking in that. And also like I feel like if Jeremy was to make a decision and we wouldn't agree with it, we would say something to you, you'd be like, well, that's my husband, like, he knows what he's doing, da-da-da-da. Like, she gonna stand on Jeremy. She gonna stand on him. And that's, like, I feel like that's living in your femininity because, I feel like it's living in your femininity.
She stood on business about her face.
Yeah.
That movie theater day, I said, Sarah, abort mission. Abort mission. She said, listen, now look. Nobody get in the way of your
Right, yes.
I feel like that's so true for her. And like she just like I don't know.
It's almost been a year, guys.
Yes, we're months away.
Oh man.
Look, I said we. We're months away. We're months away to your year.
We're in this together.
We're in this together.
Exactly. And so, yeah, it's just like, I feel like you really do walk in it for sure.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep practicing and walking in it.
Yeah. Definitely sit on that definition, because like that was definitely eye-opening to us for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad we talked about
strong,
this.
nurturing, graceful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be too strong. So, like too strong. Like,
yes.
I just
you
like,
don't have to be so strong, Ellie.
I know. Like, I don't know. I feel like I have to stand on business in every single scenario. Make a girl, maybe just sit back and like listen sometimes. Like I am a listener, but I'm not a listener. Y'all can tell I'm talking a lot. So yeah.
Yes, I feel like I could be strong, but I feel like in this last year, after like the death of my papa, I feel like I've learned to like feel my emotions a lot more. And like not hold them back. Like if I feel this type of way, I'll be like, you know, I'm not the best today. I'm a little sad. Or like I'm actually very content and happy today. Like actually acknowledging and putting words behind my feelings, which my therapist has been helping me with. Y'all get a therapist. We need therapy in Jesus. Amen. But like she has me like when I talk to her about a certain situation, she's like, okay, your assignment is putting words to your feelings. And I'm like, that's hard because I really don't know how I'm feeling. But once you write it down and put words, you're like, oh,
that's how I'm feeling.
That's how I was feeling in that situation. And
yeah. I had a recent conversation that was like really put me in my feelings. Like I was talking about, like it really like made me start spiraling in like the past, the present, and the future, all of that. And like I literally like the first thing I did, I went in my room, I sat down, and I started journaling. I was writing away, guys. When I say writing away, I mean writing away, because it really just allowed me to like really like think for a second. And it even like I started writing the night that it happened, but like 2 days later, I was like up at 4 a.m. and I was like, let me start. Let me sit down and write this. And I was writing pages, guys, because it was really just like I needed to get everything out and really like contemplate. And I was like, Lord, just like I felt like the Lord was like talking to me and like being like very responding to like what I was saying, you know, like not verbally or anything like that, but it's just like in my mind, like in my spirit, I could feel like what I was writing was like allowing me to like kind of open up about everything that was going on. So I feel like that is very important, just to like recognize how you're feeling and know that, because I feel like that's the thing, that's a beauty about independence and femininity. I feel like you are able to like sit down and really like grow and like sit in your emotions and recognize them
and process them.
I've learned to
not react so fast, you guys. Like someone called me with a whole bunch of mess this past week. I will fill y'all in later.
Okay.
And you know, I got off that phone call and I just did, like, I didn't feel anything. Like, I was just like, it's whatever. Like, I'm over it already. It wasn't until I was cooking dinner 30 minutes later. I was like, actually, I'm very upset about it.
Yes.
We got a problem, and these are going to be the actionables. Is that a word? Yeah. The actionables of, like, how we're going to deal with this, because I was really, like, I was very upset.
It was bothering
It
you.
was. It really bothered me.
Yeah.
I thought I could just dust it off, but, like, I'm trying to get better, not just, like, dusting off my feelings.
Yeah.
Making them know. So, we're still handling that situation.
Yeah.
That's good.
But I'm not upset anymore. I can say that.
Good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I heard 2 things about my friends recently, and like when I heard it, I was like, huh, what? I immediately wanted to call and be like, oh my gosh, da, 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 da. Yeah, but I didn't. I feel like I've been trying to work on like responding, especially to things that I hear and things that I'm seeing, but I don't know the actual situation of what's going on. And it's just like, maybe, like, yes, you know this information. Yes, that may be your friend, but like especially if your friend didn't tell you, that's nothing for you to say. There's nothing for you to speak on. There's nothing that, like, because obviously they don't want you to know that if they didn't tell you that. So like, you need to sit back, relax, and move on, because sometimes it's not your place to say something. And I feel like that's something I've been learning a lot of.
Alice, how are you walking in your femininity? So you said you're too strong, but there's nurturing and the graceful aspect.
Yeah, I feel like I'm very nurturing. I feel like, especially when I'm nurturing, but I'm nurturing to the things that I think need to be nurtured. And by that I mean, sometimes I'm like, okay, well, grow up. I'm like, or sometimes I'm like, okay, but like, you could do this, you could do that. Like, I give them solutions to what they should be doing to combat what's going on, instead of being like, oh, well, that really sucks. Like, well, let's move on. Like, let's think about, like, remember that you have this going on in your life. You have this. Like, sometimes I'm like, do actions towards that instead of just like sit down and wallow in it. But sometimes you need to sit down and just not even wallow in it, but like just absorb it, control it, feel it. And I feel like I've been better with that, and I'm good with that with a lot of people, but not everybody, especially men. Sorry. I'm sorry. Especially men, I'm just like, why? Like, I'm like, can you just do something? Not that men should not have the emotions and feel that and all that as well, but sometimes I just need to work on that for sure. But I'm nurturing, like, especially when it comes to like children, when it comes to my friends, when it comes to like things that are not in a person's control. I'm very nurturing in that way. Grace, I feel like you know what? I give people a lot of grace.
You do.
I give people a lot of grace.
You really give them the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes that doubt be benefiting.
I really give a lot of people grace. People will do some crazy things to me, and I'll be like, you know what? They were going through a time. They were going through something. And I try, and I'm very, my friends hate this about me sometimes, but I be playing devil's advocate, and I really be like, I really be like, okay, well, what if this was going on, or what if that was going on, or all of that, and it gets on people's nerves, and honestly, sometimes it doesn't benefit me. Sometimes I'm giving them grace because I feel like that person needs it, not because I want it helps me, or it's something that benefits me.
What I was saying is, being submissive doesn't mean we're gonna just, do whatever. But we shouldn't take away that strong, because we still have to be strong-minded in our views and what we stand for, and being powerful. And we could just look at different characters in the Bible that I feel like were very strong and powerful, but walked in their femininity very well. Just like Esther, if you read the book of Esther, how she gracefully went to the king about what was going on and like advocating for her people. She was very graceful, and she was just like, well, if you come to my banquet, and like, she was very like accommodating to him, and like she even nurtured him, like, oh, I want you to be comfortable, I want you to like feel some type of way before I tell you this, and like come back tomorrow. And I was like, girl, if you don't tell this man what is going on. But she like took her time, and she was very like nurturing to like, he needs to be in a good headspace to tell him this, because one of his people out here doing dirt on his name. And she was still very powerful and like you know, saving her people, and just like Deborah and other women of the Bible that were very strong. Ruth uprooted her life after the death. That takes strength, that takes power, and to like go work in a foreign land that she's never been, she doesn't know anybody. That takes a lot of strength and power, and they still walked in their femininity. That she didn't go bag up 10 bags of weed. She allowed them to help him, because Boaz told his servants, oh, you know, throw a little more so she can fill up her bags. But she didn't go like, oh, I'm going to outbag them today. I'm gonna hyper-independence. She thrown it over her arm and like, yeah. But they still walked very feminine. Like, they were very feminine characters, but they were very strong and powerful characters in the Bible. I don't want to call them characters, people in the Bible. These are people.
Yeah.
So,
and I was gonna say that, like, I feel like you were saying like, I'm gonna outbag the people. Like, I feel like sometimes the reason why people don't recognize your femininity is because you're trying to battle with the men. And I'm not. This is not in a like a work corporate career context, because baby, no, you better get your thing. You know, like, no, I can do exactly what that man who has the same degree as me, same this, like, absolutely, girl, do that. But I'm talking about in times like, okay, you guys know the like little stereotype where like boys are trying to show off by like carrying more chairs at church. Like, you don't need to go up you don't need to go up there and try to compete with them. Like, you know, like, and that doesn't mean like, 'cause you know the thought of like being a tomboy is like always like running around with boys, like, you know, trying to like, if the boys are playing in the mud, you're gonna play in the mud with them, like something like that. Like, yes, anything a boy can do, a girl can do for sure, but you shouldn't have to do it. You should let yourself like be in your own space. You guys know what I mean. And I feel like I struggle with that a lot. Like, I'm like, I just like when men are just kind of like being men sometimes, I'm just like, like, let me go do it myself. Like,
but I also think like, so, you know, in social media, men's like, what do a woman need a man for? Like, they can get their own house, they can get their own car. We can. We don't want to.
You don't want to.
We'd rather have someone do it for us. But as times progress, like, we can't wait forever on that. Like, not everybody's housing situations with their parents. Like, yes, we're very blessed that we can wait until we get married to move out. We can go get an apartment. We can buy our own cars if we want to, but they at least provided the first cars we had. They are allowing us to go to college, come back, stay, get yourself together. If you don't want to move out until you marry, you don't have to. So I understand, like, some women don't have that. Like, their housing situations, their relationship with their parents are not the same. And they, like, yep, I gotta go. I gotta find my own place. I gotta find my own way. And that's okay, but we don't want to have to. And it's not, I feel like some men are feeling like, oh, she got her own house, she got her own car, she's doing this, she's working six figures. They don't need us. They really don't want us. No, we really don't need you, because we can get it all ourselves. But we want to have you. We don't want to do it as a woman. I don't want to do it by myself. Like, my mom's like, oh, are you thinking about moving out? I'm like, to pay bills by myself. To pay bills and do everything by myself? No, ma'am. I will wait until the Lord says that. If God says, Z, move out out your mom's house. That's different.
That's
God told me
different.
that means He's going to supply everything for that plan for me to do that. So, but right now, sat down.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's how it was for me. I feel like I was still living in my parents' house. They were fine with me living there.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, get your job, do what you need to do, go to school. And that's what I did until I found Jeremy. And then also I was going to say, like we can buy our house, we can get our own cars, but like God intended for us to have a partner.
Yes.
In the Bible, like have that helping mate.
Helpmates.
Yes.
Genesis, read it.
Yes.
Right. Like
We'll put the actual scripture down below.
Yeah.
But like he also, and I feel like walking in your femininity is being that helpmate to your husband and to other people around you. I don't want to just say husband because I feel like I help a lot of people in different capacities, but like being there for your husband and helping him, like we just talked about, we see things in different perspectives to help them with their plan and vision. Like if you have the vision, maybe I could go run with that, but if you don't have any vision for me to help with, I can't help you, and I can't force a vision onto you. So being a helpmate, like I'll help you with anything, even if that's like we're not in a financial situation. Oh, I need to go get another job. Oh, we fit to work these 3 jobs until we get to where we need to be and where you want us to be as a family. Like, oh, you need me to quit my job? Sat.
Okay.
You need me to take care. You need me to take care of the house and just focus on the house? You got it. That's the vision.
As long as you're upholding my standards of living, and I don't gotta do nothing. Cool. I'm good. Yes, babe. You need me to take off your shoes when you get home.
run your bathwater.
That's okay. That's how I got to Beyonce lyrics.
I will do it all. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
And I feel like that's such a big thing as well.
But I feel like also in marriages and your relationship, there's seasons like, okay, hey, honey, we can already work these 2 jobs a piece for this season so we can be here to get the trajectory of our life and build that generational wealth, because it's not, yes, it's you and your husband, but like you have to think of the bigger picture. It's your family that you're building and what you're trying to build for the future. Even if you decide you don't even want to have kids, it's like, what are you leaving behind for the world? What is your footprint? What are you doing? How are you impacting the world? So I feel like that's a big part of walking in femininity, is being the helpmate and, nurturing just not other people, but like your family, your finances, and everything else you want to achieve in life.
Yeah, and I feel like, and I also want to like point out, like independence and femininity are not 2 separate things. They're a combination of things, and it's a balance. Everything is a balance. And I also want to say, like, this episode may not be for you. We may not be talking to you right now. We may be talking to your sister. We may be talking to your mom. We may be talking to your cousin. Send this video to them if you feel like that is what's a calling. Like, I was in youth ministry the other day, and the pastor had said something, and I literally like texted my friend immediately. I was like, "This is for you. This this relates to me, but this is for you."
Right.
And so, with that being said, I feel like with me right now, like walking my femininity, one of the biggest things is independence for me. Because like right now, I'm at home, like I'm getting catered on. Like, thank you Jesus, thank you for my mom and dad. Like, I'm not having to worry about like cooking every night, getting groceries, all that stuff. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so blessed for that. But I also, like, as of leaving college, something that's been on my mind is independence, especially financially. Especially since right now I'm not working, I'm looking for a job. Hey, full-time job, social media marketing guys, call me. But I'm looking for a job right now, and I'm wanting that full-time job. And like right now I feel so stagnant, because I don't have that money. I'm not saving, especially in this economy. I'm not saving. I'm not like saving for my house, my kids, my apartment. Like, I feel like there's 5,000 things I need to save for, and I have no money to give them. And it's very like not draining, that's not the word I'm thinking of, but it's very, like, solemn a little bit. Because I'm just like, what am I doing then? Yeah. If I'm not looking towards my future.
She just graduated in May.
I know. Like, that's just how my mind works.
I know. That's how I was. Because I was working two unpaid internships, and I was like, I need to make money. Like, I need to make money yesterday.
Yes, yes.
But it's also giving yourself that grace. Like, it's gonna work out. Once you get that job, once everything falls into place, it's really gonna be a cakewalk, and it's not even gonna be a catch up. It's God is gonna supply and provide what you need. Because right now you think you need a whole lot of money, and He's showing you, I'm gonna provide every one of your needs.
Right. And so like I said, grace. Like, I need to work on that for myself. I need to give, like I said, I give grace to everybody else. But girl, you don't, not to yourself? Not to yourself? Like, that don't make no sense. Like, and so, like, thinking about that, thinking about, like, everything is a balance, guys. Everything is a balance. You can be independent without being hyper-independent. You can be feminine without getting into a mindset of, like, I can't do things for myself. Like, just like that. Everything's a balance. Give yourself grace, give other people grace. But... like, what are you supposed to think about that? What are you supposed to image of that all together? But it's like all those women were walking in their femininity while being independent, while having grace for others, while all of that. And I feel like it all goes back to God, your faith in God, your relationship with Him, and how you allow Him to work. Because don't forget, you may be being independent from God. And that's a big thing.
That's a word right there. Independence from God. You can't do it without God.
You can't do it without God. And like, even like, especially when you do have all of that together, when you do have all of those things within yourself, you see it within yourself, other people see it within you, and you're like, okay, cool, I got everything. Then what am I worried about God for? Maybe what?
Because He could strip it all the way.
He will literally. Have you seen Job? Have you seen Job? Have you seen Job? Man had everything. And God was even trying to test him. The devil came to him and said, you know what? Your servant Job, he may seem all that and stuff, but like, bet if I took this away, he'd be gone. And God was like, you know what? I believe in my child. Go ahead, do whatever you need to do.
Right.
Do whatever you need to do. What if that happens? What if that happens? Will you have God? I mean, God's always there for you, but will you have that connection with Him so that you can sit down and pray and He will talk to you like, this is just a season? Because when you don't have the relationship with God and that season comes, you're going to be sitting on your butt being like, Lord, 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 and you don't have the developed relationship to where He can speak to you. You have to have your mind and your body open to hearing what He has to say. So,
that's good.
Being connected with God in all of this and everything that you're going through and in your femininity is such a need, a want, a desire, and something that you can't live without. And with that being said, that is the end of season 1! Yeah!
Oh my gosh, we just want to say thank you guys for going on this journey with us for season 1. We have never done a podcast before, so we're still learning and growing, and we're still learning and growing in our relationships with Christ to deliver this. Little backstory, I came to my girlies 1 week in May. Literally texted them one night and it was like, we should start a podcast. And literally a week turnaround, we made our first video. And that's just like a blessing to have friends that believe in your vision and like, okay, let's do this. Like, what else we gotta do? Like, what you need? So we just really thank you guys for watching us, supporting us, connecting with us on social media. Please don't be afraid to reach out to us and talk to us. We really want to hear you guys' point of views and hear topics that you guys want to hear us speak on and like really want to hear our perspectives and how we view those topics in our relationship with God. So please reach out to us. We are so grateful that we got season 1 done and season 2 on the way.